Okay, so although I have been in many relationships with males, I don't know that I've ever been in a relationship with a man. And although I want to end up in a long-term relationship with a woman and have, a wife and kids and stuff, I don't know when that's gonna happen. So I wouldn't say that I'm not open to still dating men and that I'm not hopeful that perhaps one day I can go out on a date with a man. Again, a traditional man, someone that likes that label, that really resonates with it. Just like the idea of like, a man like asking me out on a date and like getting to know someone that has more traditional values. I don't know that I'll ever come across that in the gay community. A traditional gay man. But I'm sure, never say never. So, anyways, in the meantime, then I'm really focused on what I would like as a man in my relationship, in my next relationship, my next and final relationship, we'll say. And, of course, with a woman. So, I'm just kind of brainstorming some things that I would really appreciate as a man in a relationship from the experience that I've had, especially with my last couple relationships and feeling more like a man than ever before. Because before I definitely felt like a young adult person, and then maybe a young man, but very much within the last couple years have felt more aligned with that like male identity. So I mentioned before that a comedian I saw once said that you either want respect or to be cherished in a relationship, and she was pretty much speaking to like the masculine feminine desires, like you either want to be respected as a man or cherished as a woman. And that really like stood with me, and I definitely align and agree with that. So definitely respect is something that is important in every relationship, and everyone deserves, well, does everybody deserve that? I don't know, but I definitely think everyone should be given that. um but it does feel really good as a man to be given respect. Like I see that as like my partner, my wife in the future respecting my craft, respecting my work, respecting what I do for a living, like how I, move through the world. Because I'm a social worker, of course, but at the same time, I want to move toward being an entertainer. So I would definitely need and value my partner respecting my, you know, um, my choices as far as like making a living. And I think I chose a really good path being a social worker because I'm working toward getting my license. So once I get my license, I can like pretty much have more freedom to explore the entertainment industry and like go on auditions and stuff. So I guess I'll be, a grinding, hustling artist, while also having such a serious profession such as social work. That is like, they're so opposite ends of the spectrum. But I really love that, and I'm not regretting my choices at all. So respect is definitely something as a man in a relationship, from a woman specifically, that I would really need and value and that I desire. um Next, because these are things that like when I was brainstorming, that I thought about growing up as a child that I didn't really get. And a lot of like manhood feels like acknowledging and like nurturing my inner child and my inner teenager. I think that we have both of them. I know I have both of them. Because my inner teenager is like where all of this came from. Like I don't know where in me other than my teenage self, that was like, we're doing all these things. Like I don't care. I don't care where I come from. I don't care what limitations you put on me. I don't care about expect like whatever, I'm just gonna like go for things and do whatever my heart desires. My teenage self was so bold and brave, but at the same time my inner child was like not nurtured, very much neglected. So I hold both of them with me always and very dearly, close to my heart, because I was not allowed to develop in a natural way. So very much stunted my growth, but at the same time, it's fine because like, who would I be if I didn't have some troubles, some pain and misery that I have to make my peace with and move through adulthood with. So, anyways, as a child growing up, I did not receive a lot of acceptance. So I would say that that's something else that I really value and desire in a relationship, again, with a woman, because I also grew up in a single parent household with a single mother for some of my experience. And then my mom married a few times. So then I did have to deal and had experiences with like step families and stepfathers, and not gonna get into that. But I've had lots of experience, both again with step families, and literally step siblings, and then also like just my mom, my sister, and I, and like being the only boy in the family, like, and the youngest too. Like it was a lot, and it was like really hard making sense of everything. Like my sexuality, for example, as I was coming up. So I did not receive a lot of acceptance around my development. So that's something that's radical acceptance. That's what I need now as a grown man, as an adult man, moving into my 30s, being more sure of myself. Like I just said about my life choices, like I very much would like a lot of acceptance about my character and who I am. Um, and I feel like the next one that came to mind was, I guess, goes hand in hand, because acceptance follows very, or support follows very swiftly after acceptance. I've like always known that. Like these three things were the things I was missing the most from my mother and my family, my sister too. They were not respecting me, they were not accepting me for who I was, and they were not supporting me then for who I was. So that made a very upset and combative, disrespectful, disobedient little Demetrius, especially moving into my teen years, because I had had enough, and it was very much like, you are not gonna keep telling me who the hell I am, because I know who I am. Like maybe not all the way, but I know I have a general sense of who I am. And you, I don't care if you're my mother, my sister, I don't care. My principal, my teachers got it too, my cousins, neighbors, friends, everybody was getting it. Okay, the wrath of Demetrius was felt because people kept telling me, peers at school, like so many people kept trying to tell me who the hell I was. And that was really frustrating when I'm literally like fucking 10. Oop, let me not. When I was literally like 10 years old trying to make sense of myself. And every step of the way since, people still trying to tell me who I am, especially now being an older adult, looking very ambiguous, very androgynous, my sexuality changing on me, like realizing that I am, like I always thought, interested in women as well. So it's been a very difficult, challenging journey, like experiencing the world and all these like, this pressure and these immense expectations and limitations on like who not only I am, but who men can be and how we can be, and like all these things. It's like I cannot, like the world, like I break it because the world is like crushing on top of me, and it's like, you know what, I'm gonna just punch through the glass ceiling because y'all cannot tell me who I am. So that's something else that's really important to me. Um, so respect, acceptance, support. I know that those are things that everybody, I'm sure, needs and wants in a relationship, but it really helps me feel like a man and like I can stand in my security of who I am, how I am. Um, I think there's a lot of like ego that is involved with men from what I see working with men, like in my experiences with my stepfathers, like men really have strong egos that you have to, you know, work around or work with or nurtured if you like them. And it doesn't always have to be like a negative thing. I realized that too with my last relationships, like there were some things that I really liked that helped build my ego up when I was like maybe not feeling the best or feeling the most secure. So that's definitely something else too that I enjoy. A little bit of ego nurturing, we'll say. I don't know what the other word would be. But you definitely stroke. There you go, right? Like stroking a man's ego. That definitely does feel nice. And I think that we shouldn't feel bad about enjoying that or needing it or wanting it. Um, it does feel nice, especially when a woman strokes your ego. It makes you feel like you that man, you that, like that you're just on your like boss SHIT. I don't know why I'm like trying to avoid cursing. This is literally my channel and I curse a lot. But I just like, I did enjoy feeling like, ooh, like you're a really strong, powerful, attractive, fun man. I like that feeling coming from women. Um, and there's like a lot of things coming to mind, a lot of examples that I don't want to give, because it's gonna get very R-rated around here. Uh, but what else? I think the final thing I'll say is play, because going back to that inner child, I think that there's a strong correlation to your, boyhood and then your manhood. That's like always gonna be there. There's a spectrum that's like, I remember hearing too that when men start to fall in love, like that they're in love with you because they start to be really childlike and silly around you. And I think that that really stuck with, or I know that that really stuck with me too, just like the respect thing. Cause like, yeah, like I remember, like I can say so and recall so many examples of like me being goofy or me being silly or me being what felt like myself and authentic, and somebody having something to say about it or making fun of me or like telling me that I can't and shouldn't be that way. And it's like I immediately closed off. Like there's like immediate mental safety barriers that were created in those moments, um that I forgot for a long time and like had to work to the root of like, well, where did this come from? Why am I not more silly? Why am I not goofy? Why am I not being myself around people? Because I can be very serious and very like stern. Like I'm not I'm not the most like emotive person unless you make me feel very safe to do so. Because in childhood, again, like in boyhood, people, I literally remember giggling in a grown woman. It was her, my sister, and I was giggling about something with my sister. And I don't know if I used that word, but I just remember her saying something like, boys don't giggle, Demetrius, like that. And she was like laughing when she said it, like, oh, ha ha ha, like, Demetrius, boys don't giggle. You're not supposed to be giggling. And I was just like, what the actual fuck? Like, I can't even fucking laugh. Like, what do you want me to do, girl? Like, and I can't even have an attitude about it either now. Like, ooh. And I think I was like a preteen at that time too. I was a bit, not older, but like definitely older than a child. But it's like little things like that, like just like add up and build up and really also destroy a man's character, a boy's character. Like literally, girl, I can't fucking laugh, or define me laughing as giggling. Like I think, yeah, maybe that's what it was. I had said that like, oh, I was just like giggling about it. And she was like, haha, boys don't giggle. Like, get the hell out of my face right now. Like I let me be nice. But yeah, I really cherish those, qualities and um I would say kindnesses from women, and I would really desire that in a relationship as a man. Respect, radical acceptance, radical support, extreme play. No, obviously like everything within reason. I don't want to like, I know one of the last videos too, I also said like, it's my way the highway. Like so dramatic, okay? Like I can be very, that's a part of my silliness too. I'm just like very dramatic. I'm a Leo rising, Leo stellium, so I can be very, over the top. But I don't know that I fully have experienced a relationship with a man, like I said, or being able to be one in a relationship either. So I really made this promise to myself to take a step away from dating and sort of sex as well. Not sort of, I guess, yeah, sex and like hookup culture, that's what it is. Take a step away from dating, take a step away from hookup culture, especially within the gay community. It's kind of funny because a lot of my, hetero friends be talking about like being on the apps, and like I very much mostly met most of my partners in person. So when you talk about like online dating and like the apps, I'm like, because it's been female friends of mine that are like, yeah, they're like, everyone's just like hooking up on the apps too, and like blah blah. I'm like, what apps? Like, girl, what? Where are the women? Like, what you mean? Like, give me the please give me the 411. Like, let me get the apps, because I only know about like the gay online dating apps. So, but no, I definitely don't, because I need to step away, like I said, and I have been. And the point being, and what I'll end with is, I tell myself, and promise myself, and also maybe reassured myself that I would really find the love of my life and my lifelong partner in my 30s, which I am not there yet. I have about another 8 months to go, because I'm a Virgo sun, Leo's rising. So I have a few more months until I reach that point, and it's not like I'm gonna turn 30 and then magically somebody's gonna pop up, right? So I'm really trying to, slow down, take a step back, because I've been in a lot of failed relationships. Like, I would really have to count, and maybe I've tried a couple times. I think I'm hovering around seven failed relationships that I would consider long-term relationships. A lot of them, only like maybe two or three, have been over a year. So like most of them have been less than a year. But anyways, like I really needed and wanted to take a step back to really reflect on my own behavior and my own character. And I think that that's what these last few videos have really been about, like acknowledging that I do want to pursue long-term relationship and marry a woman, because that was something that I wanted as a teenager, and it was kind of taken away from me at the time. Maybe it was just like the time around, like, early to mid to 2010s and stuff, with like gayness and queerness being more like a thing and starting to come out as like a thing in the public and stuff. And then women feeling like they don't want, like, I was gonna say fluffy men, that's not the right word. I don't know, soft lavender relationships. And now maybe women are coming around to that. And even if not, I'm feeling more like I'm enjoying being and stepping into like traditional male values. So those are the things that I would really appreciate, and I'm sure a lot of people, but men especially, would appreciate in relationships, because it really is stroking your ego and making you feel like a man, like you are the man in this relationship. So just to kind of circle back to them, respect, acceptance, support, and play are very important and necessary qualities, and I don't know, it's not just qualities, but y'all get what I mean. So if you have any thoughts, please join in on the conversation. I would love to discuss this further.